All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Well, I got a burr under my saddle.
We talk, you listen.
Somebody that's going to take an innocent life is not mentally insane.
You know them.
Time to nut up or shut up.
You love to hate them.
It's the Denton and Sasquatch Show.
Can I bring my AR-15 next time?
Sure.
Yes.
This place is half talk show, half weird daycare. I love it.
You can't handle the truth.
Hello and welcome once again to the Denton and Sasquatch Show, coming to you from both California and Alabama. My name is Sasquatch. I'm the hairy one in California. Then we got Denton. He's way over there in Alabama.
Yep, I'm the frozen one.
Frozen. Oh, you know what? I meant to tell you, too.
What?
It's 77 degrees right now.
Wow, okay. Well, I wasn't prepared for this. Okay, hold on. Hold your taters here. It is in Alabama, and where I live right now. No, you don't need them local location. No, screw you. Don't just tell me what I want to know. It is 42 degrees and 100% precipitation, which is rain right now. And we've had rain all day, and it's been chilly all day. How is the weather in California?
Well, we could use some rain because it's been windy and warm here.
Windy and warm. Windy means Santa Ana.
Yep. Which has caused, like it always does, fires.
I think I read about that.
Hey, you know what? Just being a person on the outside, let me ask you, how do you think these fires get started?
Oh, Smokey the Bear is smoking doobies.
Very possible.
Throwing blunts everywhere.
Very possible.
I would say, well, naturally it'd be lightning, wouldn't it?
Lightning does cause some of them, yes. Other reasons for it are the power company, actually.
I was going to say homeless people starting fires, but okay.
And that's the third reason.
Okay. Power companies.
Yep.
Well, do tell.
Well, we have here up north, we got PG&E, which is Pacific Grove and Power or something like that. And then down south, we have SCE, which is Southern California Edison. And they don't clear the area around their transformers. And if one blows and a spark goes and then the wind kicks up, there you go. You got a fire. Not to mention, when the winds blow, they knock down their power poles, which then lay on the brush and start a fire.
Okay, so the power companies are supposed to clear around the poles?
Yeah, they're supposed to do maintenance around their poles.
And they don't do that?
They don't.
Well, do they get charged for it or anything?
No, they just make a profit and move along.
Well, see, that's kind of confusing because power is required because greedy people, demand to power their homes. If they're really good Californians, wouldn't they be living in, grass huts, wearing hemp clothing and, cooking the food over solar energy type things?
Well, Moonbeam would definitely enjoy that.
Yeah. And so why doesn't Moonbeam go after these huge corporate beasts?
Well, they are. As a matter of fact, residents are putting blame on Pacific Gas and Electric, filing a suit Tuesday that claims the power company failed to maintain its infrastructure and properly inspect and manage its transmission lines.
Okay. So they're going to sue PG&E.
Yep. Lawsuit is seeking an unspecified amount to cover a variety of losses, including lost homes, property, and personal belongings, as well as evacuation and temporary housing costs, emotional trauma, and loss of income.
Emotional trauma. Well, let's just skip the BS there. The rest of that stuff, wouldn't that be enough to sink PG&E? I mean, we're talking millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars of homes and cars and puppies and kittens.
I'm sure like any other business they have insurance, but really it's a monopoly because, like I said, up north we have PG&E and down here we have SCE, and those are your only choices. So they're making hand over fist when it comes to money, and they can pretty much charge whatever they want. Well,
let me ask you this now, because our listener Bill and I were talking about this today. And we were thinking that the liberals in California just don't want to do the proper land management thing. Is there any truth to that, or are we just assuming?
There is, and I'm going to hit on that in just a little bit. But yes, there's very much that going on. Was that even a sentence? Very much that going on.
That is a very good sentence here in Alabama. Yeah, because one of the things we were talking about was, I don't know if you're old enough. You're just a few years younger than I am, so I'm sure you do remember the California condor. Mm-hmm. Are there any of those things still flying around?
Yeah, I believe we have a couple sanctuaries somewhere around here.
Okay, there's a time when they were just about extinct. Mm-hmm. And it turned out the reason why is because the furry, stinky liberals didn't want to do proper land management.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah, just let things grow wild. Okay, except for in the wild, in nature, things grow wild until nature, a lightning bolt, comes down and blasts the crap out of something, and it catch fire and everything burns out.
Yeah.
Well, the liberals can't stand that because you're burning vegetation and harming trees and whatnot. But in this case, the undergrowth is getting so crazy that the condor could not find its prey. Mm-hmm. So once they start doing things a little bit better, now all of a sudden the condors would come back. So the liberals get crazy. Well, you can't harm a tree. Okay, well, what about the bird up there it needs to eat?
Well, I mean, nature even takes care of itself because pine trees need fire to grow new pine trees.
That's right.
So, I mean, there's things like that go on. But also, California, there were a lot of Indians here at one time. And one of the things they did was purposely burn a lot of the stuff, for one, to ferret out animals, but for two, to do it before the lightning did so they can control it. Mm-hmm. So, it's not like it's unheard of for that to happen.
And it's kind of funny because the ultra-rich liberals build their houses in these really beautiful places, and then they demand no fires.
Well, you know what? It's the same. They're talking about these storms and everything that are causing hurricanes and stuff, and they're like, oh, well, look at 100 years ago. There weren't houses being torn down by the hurricanes near the beaches. Well, 100 years ago, people didn't like living by the beach. So nobody lived there. That's why.
They knew it was not a good place to live.
Yeah, it wasn't up until probably 50, maybe 60 years ago that people started saying, hey, the beach is a great place to be.
Oh, down here and around the Gulf Coast here. I remember when I was a kid, we could drive along the highway that runs along the beach, and you could actually see the beach. Well, not so much anymore. You can't see the beach because there are houses and condominiums in the way.
Oh, yeah. Same here. I mean, when I used to go down and surf all the time, there was hardly anybody that lived down there. Now it's condominiums, townhouses, regular houses.
Annoying. People are annoying. The place to be. Never mind. I was just going to go down the whole globalist idea anyway. Sometimes I have to agree with the globalists. We need to thin the herd.
Yeah, probably not the way they want to do it, though.
No, I don't want to do it their way. Yeah.
I did hear a good story the other day about the fires. I mean, this is horrible. I mean, people are losing their homes. I mean, I think there's the death toll's up to 42 now. So, it's a bad thing, of course. But I did hear a good story. There was a guy who went back into the areas that were burning to save people and animals in his Toyota. Well, he got stuck and had to run on foot and left his truck there, and it got just obliterated. So he took pictures of the charred truck and posted them, I guess, to Instagram or something like that. Said, oh, here's what happened to my truck. Well, it was a Toyota, and Toyota saw that, and they messaged him back, however you do it on Instagram, and it said, don't worry about the truck, we're going to give you a new one.
Well, that's nice of them.
Yeah, I thought so. But the guy lost his house too, so I don't think anybody's going to give him a house, but at least he's going to have a vehicle.
Yeah, well, and it's not. Let's get real. Toyota didn't do that out of the kindness of the heart. They know they're going to get some publicity out of it. We're talking about it right now.
Well, yeah, and it's a tax write-off, so no skin off their nose.
Yeah, but I'm not going around and buy a Toyota. Sorry.
I already got one, so.
Do you?
Yep.
Communist.
I believe it was made here, though.
Yeah. You should have bought a Mexican-made Ford like me.
Of course. All right. So, what everybody's wondering about out there, the fires in California. Governor Sunbeam, that's what I call him now because he's so worried about global warming. He says it's global warming. And then, of course, President Trump said, nope, it's forest mismanagement. So who's right?
Well, I'm going to go with Trump because he has a better track record on being right.
This is from Investor Business Daily. On Saturday, Trump tweeted there is no reason for these massive, deadly, and costly forest fires in California, except that forest management is so poor. Billions of dollars are given each year with so many lives lost, all because of gross mismanagement of forests. Remedy now or no more Fed payments. And, of course, Jerry Brown replies by saying managing all the forest in everywhere we cannot... Wait, that doesn't even make sense. Managing all the forest in everywhere we can does not stop climate change. That sentence doesn't make sense, but that's the way it's written.
Well, it's Moonbeam's speech, you know.
And, of course, those that deny are definitely contributing to the tragedies. Neither politician will get any points for political delicacy. In their remarks, it seems to be part of the parcel. I can't read tonight. Part and parcel of today's politics, but Trump seems to know more about the causes of the California fires.
I think most of us would know more about it.
I think most everybody knows everything more so than good old Moonbeam.
How long have you been living in California?
All my life.
And that's over 40 years.
Yep.
You guys have kind of dry summers there. I mean, did it used to be, and I guess you could still say it's a desert.
Hold on just a sec. We got a buzz going on. There we go. Fixed.
All right. But if I'm not mistaken, what in Los Angeles area? That used to be a desert, wasn't it?
Got the buzz again. Yes. You know, if it's not one thing, it's another with this damn show.
But you know what? Our connection's great tonight.
Yeah, that's true. It is. But yes.
So you knew something's going to go wrong.
In answer to your question, we are a desert.
Yeah, it's a desert, and deserts are dry.
Yes.
Okay, so we can expect fires. You get rain in the wintertime, and in the springtime, and things are blooming and green, and all of a sudden you get no rain, everything goes dry. And then the Santa Anas come and something sparks, whatever sparks, it doesn't make any difference what sparks it, but the fire is going to spread, right?
Well, of course it is.
And this has been this way for a long time.
Thousands of years.
Thousands of years.
Well, you know what? It actually did get better for a while, but then it got worse again.
Well, you know, that's just a cyclical way of nature.
Well, not only that, but like you were talking about earlier, the liberals got in the way.
No, and yeah, it never helps. Never. When the liberals get in the way, nothing good is ever going to come of it.
Well, this is our second round of fires. We had some earlier in the summer, and that's when that was somewhere around August, and that's when Governor Brown described what was happening like this. We're fighting nature with the amount of material we're putting in the environment, and that material traps heat, and the heat fosters fire, and fires keep burning. We need to take extraordinary steps to shift the weather back to where it historically was. Only problem with that is he's wrong.
Historically, there have been fires, right?
Well, yeah, there have been, and he claims that, this is good science, but really there is no real science to back up anything that he's saying. I mean, the climate record clearly shows that there were periods much hotter than today, and I mean, just to prove that, I was listening to one of the fire chiefs the other day talk about it on the radio, and he was saying that the last time he saw fire like this that got so bad and so hot was 1993. We had a bunch of fires. Now, how long ago was that? Let's see, 93, 2003, 2003. That was over 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. So, yeah, we've been having these for a long time. I mean, 20 years isn't that long in the big scheme of things, but Brown acts like this is something brand new that's just been happening recently.
Well, as Andrew Wilkow would call it, they believe in the history of now.
Well, yeah, and of course, I mean, the Global Warming Brigade wants to stifle anybody that says anything different, and, they call you names, you're an ist, you're a phobe, you're a this, you're a that. And the reason they do that is because they know they're wrong.
Well, they have to be. Now, where is the baseline? Let's take carbon dioxide. Okay, CO levels. Where is it supposed to be? Okay, they say the carbon dioxide levels are rising, and all the plants rejoice.
They should.
Okay, but you're saying the carbon dioxide levels are rising, but where is the baseline? What is the norm? What are we going by? 1975? You see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, they can take it whenever they want to find the answer they want.
Mm-hmm. And of course, if it takes just going by 2 years from ago, then if they want to call it the baseline, it's rose. Well, look, it's rising. Okay, but where are the historical highs and where are the historical lows, and where were we in those time periods? Were things better, worse? Okay. Now, in California, for example, there's been a whole lot of houses. Like you said, it's a horrible thing, and I agree. A lot of houses, a lot of people have been killed in these fires. Okay, let's just say 500 years ago, were there fires? Yep. Okay, how many houses got burned to the ground? How many people died from the fire? So I don't know how many people, but I'll bet you wasn't many houses that got burned to the ground 500 years ago.
Well, you know what? Not even 500 years ago. I mean, I got some stats right here. Let me see. In the western United States, wildfires surged from about 600. Oh, no, these are homes that burned. Let's see. The wildfire in the western U.S. surged from about 607,000 in 1940 to 6.7 million in 2010. That's a more or less than 1,000% rise. It's a basic matter of population impinging on wilderness areas. That's one of the causes. We got more people now, so of course things are going to burn more. 2017 study found that since 1970, the number of fires burning 300 acres or more has actually declined. How can that be? Fires once raged across the pristine forest and grasslands, but they had far fewer people or smaller towns in the way. The story the story is written horrible. The story can't be simply that warming is increasing the numbers of wildfires in California, because the number of fires is actually declining, and area burned has not been increased either. University of Washington climatologist Cliff Mass wrote in August. So if it's not climate change, what is the cause? Well, now we go back to Trump, the mismanagement of both state and federal forest lands. Beginning in 1994, with the best of intentions, President Clinton put in place a plan to limit logging of old-growth trees to protect the endangered spotted owls in western forest. Those moves pretty much ended what had been a policy of active management of fire threats in our national forest. Logging halted, and the burnable fuel on the forest floor built up, and fires, while not more frequent, became more intense and threatening to nearby towns and homes. So there you go. 1994.
And the spotted owl had nothing to do with what we did. I can't remember what it was. Again, Bill was telling me about this. The whole spotted owl thing is a farce. It was something else that was raiding its nest or something other. I can't remember, but it had nothing to do with logging.
Yeah, it was a parasite or something like that, if I remember correct.
Yeah. So, once again, liberals have no clue. But you mentioned mismanagement of words a minute ago. Little side note here. Look here, you people who write these articles, you're idiots.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to read it, and I'm thinking, am I dyslexic? Because this isn't making sense.
No, and you read a lot better than I do. And how many times in these podcasts have I tried to read something and I'm just stumbling all over myself? And it's not because I'm stupid. I can read words. It's because they jumble the words together. There are no editors, and if there were editors, they would be sending these kids back to school to learn how to write properly. At prepperformance.net, which is one of the places we go to write a lot, I struggle to make sure I don't end a sentence with a preposition. Okay, there was a time when writers did not do that, among other things, But nowadays, you're just ran into there. You're trying to read what they wrote, and you're thinking, my brain just can't do it. You people need to start writing as if this is your native language. Well, now, prepperformance.net is a great place to go to if you want to hang out with us. We talk about prepping, and we talk politics, and when we talk guns, we talk about whatever. There are other ways they can connect with us. Do you remember them?
Sure. DentonandSasquatch.com. That's our website where Denton and I both post articles and opinions and things that we think are important. And if you'd like to contact us, you can always do so at our email, which is dentonandsasshow@gmail.com.
Now, you can either listen to us on the podcast there, well, probably you are, or you can go to YouTube, and our channel is called Denton and Sasquatch Show,
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
Okay. And eventually we're going to have, a Patreon or something or other?
Something like that.
Yeah, which can be handy. We can make extra podcasts that we can really say what we're thinking and not get chastised by YouTube.
Yeah.
Patreon's got a lot more lenient rules.
And if you're one of those Apple elitists, you can find us on iTunes as well.
Yeah. All right. Oh, by the way, we made the podcast Sunday, the last one.
Mm-hmm.
I got notified today about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Hey, there's a new Denton and Sasquatch show.
Oh, really? It took that long, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny.
Hey, side note to your side note, when I was in radio, the copy that we had to read for commercials and things like that was not much better than these people's writings because it was usually written by the salesman that sold the spot. So we'd get it and I'd be reading it and be like, well, wait a second, this makes no sense.
Did y'all read it beforehand and rewrite it?
Yeah. At first, I didn't know that's the way it was, but once I kind of figured that out, I always started proofreading everything before I said it. Because really, it makes us look stupid. It doesn't make the salesperson look stupid because anybody listening doesn't know the salesperson wrote the copy.
Yeah. And this is where we are.
Yep. So there you go. There's a little inside information about radio and how bad it sucks.
Well, now, are they going to try to do anything differently in California?
As far as the fires?
Yes.
Well, of course not, because now we have Governor Newsom, who is Jerry Brown times 10.
And he cares so little about the environment that he's not going to be willing to try to manage it better?
Well, I mean, the only difference between Jerry Brown and Newsom is Jerry Brown actually believes what he's saying. Newsom just says it because it's the cool thing to say. But no, they're not going to change anything. In fact, I just heard him today on a news clip saying how horrible it was these fires. Well, of course it was. So I mean, he's just basically saying, what everybody says when something bad happens. But he said we're going to change this. We're gonna make sure this never happens again. He didn't lay out a plan. Didn't say how he was going to do it. Just said he was going to do it.
Oh, kind of like Pelosi with the Democrat House's plan of fixing America.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's what they always do. They say they're going to do something, don't tell you how they're going to do it, and then they don't do it.
Well, why not? I mean, really, they're politicians.
Well, they're
not held accountable. They're listened to. Then people go back to sports or whatever.
They have learned that the idiots that vote for them hear that and go, "Oh, that's great. I like that. He's going to change it," and that's all they need to hear.
Yep, because they're back in sports. Well, is there anything else about the fire you can tell us? You want to move on or what?
No, I think we can move on. I don't want to bore everybody with the fire, but yeah, just know that what you hear in the media and what the truth is are usually two different things. But that goes for most things.
All right. Well, look here. I'm sure this has been reported everywhere, so I don't want to belabor this. Michael Avenatti, the attorney for the stripper that was suing Trump or something other?
Whore. Yes.
Yeah, okay, if you want to call her that, fine. I'm not judgmental, but she was a stripper. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, he was arrested for domestic violence.
So I heard.
Yeah, so I don't want to belabor this. I just mentioned this so I can say, ha-ha.
He deserves a ha-ha.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say about this. Now let's move on. This one of your favorites, Nancy Pelosi.
Well, I do have a thing for skeletons.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this. I can't wait to see how this plays out because they got some new studs there and studettes in the House of Representatives that are full-blown socialists, and they're saying never Pelosi. She's not going to get the gavel. Mm-hmm. Okay, and of course Pelosi thinks she's going to get the gavel, and this is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Well, yeah.
Okay, you got these old people versus young people.
I think they should do it like a Royal Rumble in wrestling, and they should just all get in the ring and fight it out, and whoever's the last man standing gets the gavel.
That would be fun. That would be. And I'm pretty sure Nancy won't make it. But Wednesday, this is, as a lot of my stuff, this is from Breitbart. Wednesday at National Action Network Legislative and Political Conference. Man, if that isn't a title, I don't know what is. House Leader Representative Nancy Pelosi, Democrat of California, thanked the organization's founder, Al Sharpton, for saving America. Al Sharpton saved America by helping Democrats win the majority in the House of Representatives.
Okay, wait. Now let me guess. It's because Sharpton convinced the blacks to vote Democrat? Is that where they're going with this?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, well,
obviously,
if I were black, I would be highly insulted by that.
Well, I would be too. But see, you think and I think. But the ones she's aiming the stuff at, of course, they're not thinking very much. They are the drive-by news listeners that we were talking about a second ago. Okay, but then
James. Sorry.
What was that?
R. James. Sorry, a little cough. That's an inside joke, people. Come on over to prepperforms.net and you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly. Pelosi said, we're going to be visionary. We're going to be unifying. We're going to be healing. We're going to be transparent in what or how we do this. When's the last time you heard a Democrat talking about transparency?
I believe it was an Obama who said he was going to be the most transparent president in history. But, of course, he was the least transparent president in history.
So what do we learn about Democrats there?
They lie.
They lie. We're going to be respectful of other views. Really? Who's going to teach them that? But we're going to try to find our common ground where we can. We have a responsibility to do that, but where we can't, stand our ground like a rock. And she looks like a rock nowadays. That's what Thomas Jefferson advised us to do. Now, whenever a Democrat speaks of one of the founding fathers, my stomach turns just a little bit. I can't stand that. She says, thank you for helping take back America. People all over the place are calling me, riding in airports here and there, saying, thank you for saving America. Well, thank you. What do these idiots say? Nancy, thank you. We know you're going to stifle job growth. You're going to stifle the economy. You're not going to protect the borders. You're all against, what those evil white men think. You're against the Constitution. We love you.
Well, I mean, I suppose there are a few of those people that are still wearing the pink pea hats that would say that to her, but I can't imagine a lot of sane people actually saying that.
Well, I just want to throw it out there so we know that Nancy Pelosi is still apparently alive, and she's thanking Al Sharpton for saving America. Now, where did Al Sharpton's notoriety come from?
Killed a man, didn't he?
No, that was Ted Kennedy, and as a woman, by the way. No, it was I think a rugby team up in the Northeast somewhere was accused of gang raping some black female, and he rallied the troops and was making all these protest speeches and everything. It turned out it was a lie.
Hey, that sounds familiar.
It does, doesn't it? No, what's his name? Kavanaugh, something like that.
Yeah,
Kavanaugh. Yeah, Kavanaugh. Yeah, he's a Supreme Court justice now. Yeah, they did their best to stop it, but they couldn't do it. Yeah, I want to mention that. Let's say there's some. Oh, here's another one I want to mention. Jeff Flake, your neighbor.
I hate when you say that. I mean, it's true, but I hate that it's true.
I will not vote for any judicial nominees until legislation to protect Mueller gets vote.
What legislation would he be talking about?
Well, the Democrats are all afraid that Trump is going to fire Mueller, because, the whole Russia investigation crap.
No, yeah, I understand all that, but I mean, what is this legislation going to say? I mean, are they going to pass a law that says you cannot fire Mueller?
Yes.
I mean, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, it is. It is one of the dumbest things. I mean, Did you not listen to the last article I read? I mean, it's just one of the dumbest things. And this is great. The next 2 years, we are going to have so much material. This is going to be a target-rich environment. But anyway, he's saying, like anybody cares, or even expects them to go with the Republicans, he says that he's not going to vote for any judicial nominees until there's legislation passed where Trump can't fire Mueller. And a lot of Democrats are wanting this. Mm-hmm. And that's, so first off, it's stupid because Trump has never said that he was going to fire Mueller. Okay. Second off, who can fire Mueller?
That would be the AG, wouldn't it?
Well, he can fire him, and so can the President of the United States, because guess what? The President of the United States is over those people.
That's true. He is the boss.
Yes, he is a boss, and if he thinks that somebody's not doing a good enough job, he can terminate them. They are, I guess you say they're supervisors. They're not union employees. They can be terminated at will.
Well, if
they serve at his will.
If you notice, there's a theme running here. President Trump has a lot of powers that are vested to him, and every time he tries to exercise one, the Democrats stand up and go, "You can't do that," when clearly he can.
Exactly. So even if they passed some kind of legislation, let's assume that, of course, the House of Representatives will go along with that as soon as the Democrats take over. And let's assume that all the Republicans in the Senate come in half drunk. And they just ain't going to read nothing. They've got a hangover. They don't want to think about it, so they say whatever they say.
Sometimes I think they are half drunk all the time.
I think so as well. It would not be a constitutional statute. It would not be a law. It would be an unconstitutional statute because the Congress has no business telling the president that he can't do something that by Constitution he can do. So this is just a waste of time, and it's a waste of money if they were to pursue that. Now, if Jeff Flake doesn't want to vote along with the, or doesn't want to vote for good justices, are we surprised?
No.
He's doing exactly what the people to whom he is entitled tell him to do, which is the establishment, the globalists, you know, all those kind of people that people like Jeff Flake would be owing. So I'm not surprised by that. But your neighbor is a piece of crap.
Well, I agree.
He's been a piece of crap as long as I've known him, as a matter of fact, or I've heard of him.
Well, I'm glad he's going.
Yeah, he can't go fast enough. Now, there was another thing in here somewhere.
Is it ironic that we had 2 Republican senators in Arizona that were Democrats, and now we have 2 Democrats that are Democrats?
Well, nothing's really changed, has it?
Nope.
Let's see, is that prison release? I don't know. Trump backs First Step Act on prison. No. Delling poll, we really muffed it. Really muffed it. What the hell is this?
This is where you have your notes all together already, didn't?
Yeah, well, that didn't happen, did it? Okay, well, I guess that's about it right here. Oh, did you, just yapping a little bit, and the reason why I yap a little bit here, Robert De Niro, who I used to like because I liked his movies, you know, in all the movies he's ever in, for example, there's always gunplay. Mm-hmm. He's anti-gun.
Of course he is.
I didn't know that. Turns out he's a stinking, screeching liberal.
Yeah, and I bet you he has armed security following him around when he goes out, too.
Oh, there's no doubt. But at some, what do you call it, one of those little, where they put some other celebrity on a pedestal.
Like an award ceremony?
Yeah, there's an award ceremony. I can't remember what it's called, but he took the opportunity to do nothing but bash Trump. Oh, he called Trump all kinds of names. He dropped F-bombs all over the place. Now, here's the thing I want to point out. Trump goes to Washington. Mr. Trump goes to Washington. It's kind of like an old movie. And he's doing things that he said he would do. As a matter of fact, you remember people said, well, he's not conservative. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if he's a conservative or not. I don't know his heart, but I can watch and see what he's trying to do. It would appear that he's very conservative. He's more conservative than any president we've had since I can remember. Okay, and it's driving these your celebrities out in your way crazy. Every time that these people open their mouths, it's about Trump. It's bashing Trump, and I think it's hilarious because here De Niro's got tons of money. He's got notoriety, fame, fortune, all that kind of crap. And what is he doing? He's fixating on a man who's doing great things for America. And all he can do is bash that man. Now, I don't know if Trump is just relishing this, but he ought to be. At this juncture, President Trump's, just his mere existence is driving people nuts. They think nothing about anything except for Trump.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
I think it's funny.
Well, it's funny and sad.
Okay, I think it's mostly funny because I hope these people get heartburn, gastritis, indigestion. I hope they can't sleep.
Well, that means they have TDS.
Trump derangement syndrome.
Yes.
Yes. They should seek help, but they won't because they think that they are 100% right.
Well, you know what, though, with De Niro, I mean, it's just like most other liberals, at least the politicians and stuff. They've never been out in the real world. They've never had a real job. They've been in the fantasy world that they're in for so long. They're so detached from what real life is like that they don't see reality. They just live in this little weird bubble where they're all, chirping about Trump and sipping lattes, I guess. I don't know. But it's just none of them live in reality.
No, not a bit. He doesn't have to worry about getting the next job. I mean, his name will carry him to any job he wants.
That's like that Ortez, whatever her name is, in New York that we were talking about last week. I mean, she's...
Cortez, underlay.
What'd you say? She was 29 years old and has never had a real job?
Not until, well, if you want to call House of Representatives a real job, that's correct, yes.
Well, it's not a real job. She was voted into office. That's not a real job. A real job is where you go there and you punch in the morning and, do your work, and then you punch out and go home, and, that's a real job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's all I have to say. De Niro sucks. Pelosi sucks. Flake sucks.
There's a lot
California's burning to the ground.
There's a lot of sucking going on.
Well, all that sucking is causing all that wind that's fanning the flames. Well, I've got nothing else.
Well, we're burning to the ground here, so that can only mean one thing. We are doomed. So what should we do, Denton?
I think you ought to grab your lemonade jug, fill up a glass, and drink because we are certainly doomed. So you guys have a good night. Hey, who knows? We may get together to have another one of these ad hoc things before the week's over. But if not, we're going to have a more well-organized one come Sunday. So if you don't catch us in between now and then, we'll see you Sunday. So y'all have a good night. Sleep well. Just remember, it's all going to hell in a handbasket, but we're not burning as fast as California is. Good night.
I was wondering how long you were going to go on there.
You never know. I free thought. It's been a long day.
Oh, boy. Yes, it has.